Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 12 of my PySimpleGUI lessons. In today's video, we are going to learn how to update input text elements. So first, let's look at what the finished results will be. So as you can tell in this picture, the main window will be like this. There's a username line and a password line with two buttons of OK and cancel. And if you get it correct, there will be a small pop-up that says correct with a OK button on it. Okay, let's get into it. So first we import PySimpleGUI as SG, and then let's make a few users. These are just like random, so we can do username, and then the username can be ABC with a password. Password can be like 123. So this type of file storage is called a dictionary. It's kind of like a list, but each one has a corresponding. Like this is also called a key, and it corresponds to a value. So after user 1, we can also have a user 2, and user 2 can be like username. Let's do DEF, and for the password, let's do 456. And then we put both of these into a list. Let's call it user list equals user 1 and user 2. So let's print user list out to make sure it's working. Okay, so as you can tell, the username is ABC, password is 123, that's user 1. And then user 2 would be username is DEF and password is 456. Alright, so now that the user list is working, let's work on the layout for the window. So for the layout, there's going to be 3 lines. The first line is going to be a text element with username, and let's give this a size equals 8 to make the input text elements line up, and then put an input text element, leave this blank, and add a tooltip to help users along. We could say like type username here, and then give it a key. Let's call it user. And then after this, we can have the next line for the password. So sg.t password, and then we can give it the same size as last time to make them line up. And okay, after this, we put an input text element. Also leave this one blank. Give it a tooltip. Say like password is 3 digits. Then give this a key called password pwd, and let's make the password character the star, like that. And finally, for the last line, it's just going to be 2 buttons. First one will say OK, and the next one will say cancel. Okay, and then let's put in the other stuff. Window, Python learning, layout, while true, event values equals window.read, and then let's just print both event and values this time, and if event equals none, then we break, and then we close the window at the end. Let's make sure this works. So let's run this. Alright, so as you can tell, the layout works. These two are perfectly aligned because we gave them a size. And then if we hover our mouse over username, it says type username. If we hover our cursor over password, it says password is 3 digits. And if we type things in here, it will use the star to not show what we're typing. And there's 2 buttons here for these 2 buttons. Alright, let's work on the actual event here. So if we write if event equals OK, because that's what they're going to do to verify, if event equals OK, then we're going to make a loop to test out each of the usernames in here to see if they match. So we can do for user in user list, and then let's make an if statement. If so first we need to make sure if the users are the same. So we need to make sure this input text element equals either this or this. So in order to do that, we can do if values of the key here is users. Let's copy this. Values user equals user of over here. So that's user name. And we also need to make sure the password is corresponding to each other. So we can do and to do 2 if statements. If values of password, which is this for the key, equals equals the user password. So user, and then let's copy the password here. User password. Then let's give a message called correct. The message over here is just a simple variable. And then if that is right, let's break the loop. Since if it's already right, we don't have to check the other users. And then if this isn't right, then we can give out a message saying incorrect. And after this, if it's incorrect, it'll go back to this loop and loop around to try the other ones. So if one of them is correct, this correct will override all the other incorrects and then break the loop to go out. Alright, so outside of the loop, we can give out a pop-up like we showed at the really beginning. Pop-up at the really beginning that says message. So let's test that out. Alright, so according to our list here, if we write A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3 here, and you press OK, then it'll show you're correct. Yay. But however, if we change this to like 4, 5, 6, A, B, C, and 4, 5, 6 are not in the same dictionary. So in theory, it should not be right. And we click this, and it shows incorrect. Now let's change ABC to DEF. Now this one should be correct because username is DEF and the password is 456. Alright, and that's correct. Let's try something completely inaccurate, like something really long. And if we do this, it'll also be incorrect. Alright, now the last thing we do before we finish this lesson is code the cancel. Right now the cancel doesn't do anything. Let's make it so that when we write cancel, then the whole loop breaks and the window closes. So if we do this, if event equals cancel and break, now if you notice this break is for the while. Oh, sorry, we need to move this back one. So like this break would break the while true loop, coming out of the while true loop to do the window.close. So let's test this out. If we run this and we click cancel, then the whole thing disappears. Alright, that concludes lesson 12 of my PySimpleGUI course. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, learning at work for tuition is easier than addition.